Hello, and welcome back to the Happy Healthy Human podcast. I'm Coach Kara.
And I'm Coach Lauren. On this podcast, we talk about the 5 factors of health with our mindset, nutrition, rest and recovery, connection, and movement.
I heard that someone at the gym is tired of hearing us laugh so much on the podcast, and I have to say that laughter is the best medicine, so
you know what?
Get over it. No, I'm just kidding.
I laugh so much, and I'm like, I think that's why I look maybe somewhat youthful for my age.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'm like 55 and look like this, you know?
Well, today, speaking of being 55, we are talking about adapting through life transitions. So I'm going to speak towards how I've had to adapt with pregnancy and my training. Yes. And Lauren will talk about how she adapted through her 20s and 30s with her training.
There we go. Awesome. Well, do you want to start off?
Sure. I think the last time that I spoke about this was closer to the beginning of my second trimester. So a lot of things have changed since then.
Everything's still new.
Yeah.
Probably every day things are changing.
Every single week. Yeah, we learn new things. So I think that overall, since the last time we talked, I wouldn't say too much has changed in terms of like what is involved in my training. Obviously, there have been some movements here and there that I've removed based on just how my body feels and how my physical therapist and coach kind of see me moving. I think what's changed the most is the volume of training, which has gone down a lot recently.
Oh, so sad. Has it been hard for you or has that been okay?
No, it's actually been a pretty good transition. Right now I'm doing 3 days a week of mainly weightlifting and compound movements. And then the rest of the days of the week, if I go on like a 20-minute plus walk, that is a huge win.
Are you just exhausted afterwards, or what do you mean by it being a huge win?
Yeah, I think that motivation right now is very low just because I feel really sluggish and tired throughout the day. And it's getting hot outside.
Yes.
And when it's hot, I get really swollen. And so I'm like trying to avoid that as much as possible. And walking in the heat is not like, it does not go hand in hand. Yes. You know what I mean? So yesterday, for example, my energy was so high. And so I actually walked for an hour and a half outside.
Let's go.
Yeah, and it was awesome. I felt so good afterwards.
And it was hot outside too.
It was hot. Yeah. So I like got a good sweat on. But then 2 days ago, I did half of my training that my coach programmed. And I got so tired that I was like, I'm going to save the second half for another day this week once I feel better.
Okay.
So it's really just like listening to the body, getting used to the cues of like when my joints are aching or things like that. And I think that's something that I didn't do before. Like when I was competing, listening to my body was not a thing. It was like, well, this is what my programming says, and I have to do it because it's what's going to make me the best at what I do.
Yeah.
And then that obviously led me to some injuries and other things. But now it's just like being more in tune has helped me so much. Just be like, this isn't worth it today. I want to make sure that I feel really good and energized as much as possible. So yeah, we just had to make some changes.
I know, especially since where are you at right now? How many weeks are you in?
I'm 30 weeks.
Okay, so you're 30 weeks out of 42 is the goal. Maybe a little bit earlier than that, I would suppose.
Yeah.
42 I feel like is like your max.
I think 42 is typically the max. Yeah. Technically, I think it's either 36 or 37 is full term. And then your due date is based off of 40 weeks. So really, it's like kind of scary because it's like 6 to like 12 more weeks.
It's
like you don't know. Yeah.
It's happening. Oh my goodness. Now with your training and is your nutrition changing a lot as well? So your training, it sounds like it's week by week basis right now of how you feel, but how's like your nutrition and sleep?
Yeah, that's a good question. So sleep has not been too challenging for me. I think first trimester I had some insomnia actually. That was one of my first like symptoms of pregnancy. I could not sleep.
Oh, that's so hard. Yeah. I love sleep.
Oh my gosh, no, and I thrive on like 8 to 9 hours. So I was feeling like a zombie. But in the third trimester, I've been really, really happy that I've been able to sleep like 8+ hours a night and still feel pretty comfortable. That changes with my work schedule depending when I have to be up in the morning, but the more sleep, the better. Because I really feel it the next day, and I love a nap these days.
We love a good nap.
Yeah, it's so good. Nutrition, I think I've touched on it a little bit in previous podcasts, but I really am focusing just on like high protein, little bit of higher fat diet, just because it makes me feel better and fuller between my meals, because I'm like very hungry these days. And then just focusing on quality of food.
And then you said you were not tracking right now. You're just more the quality of food, whole food. And then is there anything specifically you've been like craving, or you're just like, nope, it's about like the same?
No, I haven't craved much, which is weird.
It's always fun to hear people's cravings.
I know. I haven't had anything crazy. I'm trying to think because people ask me this all the time. Nothing has really come up. I'm like the type of person, like before pregnancy, if you're like choosing where to eat, I'm like, I really want this. It's the same thing now. So like, I don't think it's a pregnancy craving. I think it's just like, I know what I want usually.
Especially with the summer. I crave ice cream in the summer. I'm like, I need it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess like I've definitely been eating more fruit and fruit that's really like kind of hydrating feeling. So like grapes, watermelon, mangoes.
Oh, I love mango.
Oh my gosh. Like literally cannot eat enough. I think last week I did eat half a watermelon in one day.
Oh my gosh.
Which was really crazy. I don't recommend.
That is a wild town.
I could not stop. I was like, baby wants it, so we're going to keep doing
We're
it.
just going to have a half watermelon. It's not going to kill anyone.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt anyone.
But I think like overall, the number one thing I've learned is how to be more intuitive.
Yes.
I realized that like I was so not intuitive beforehand because I was always constantly tracking every gram of food. I was always just following my training no matter how I was feeling that day. And this has been a really good journey of learning how to listen to like my hunger cues and when my body's not feeling so good. If I need to take a nap, I'm just like, whatever. I need to take care of this baby, so I'm going to take a nap.
This is amazing.
So it's been really cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was going to ask you about like how your mindset has been, but it sounds like that's been one thing is intuitive eating, knowing where your body's at. Has there been anything else in your mindset when it comes to training and nutrition throughout this pregnancy that has been different than before?
Yeah, not really. I think the only like challenge that has come up is seeing my body change so rapidly.
Yeah.
And so that plays a role into my training. Like on days when I'm not feeling great, I might be a little more swollen or more bloated that day. Like obviously I feel bloated every day now with how my stomach is, but it's like, I have to challenge myself of like, you need to make sure that you eat and you need to make sure that you still do work out in some capacity because it's good for you. And it's not because I need to be cutting weight or, being worried about what I look like right now. So that's been a big like mental shift is just getting used to like in the past 30 weeks, I've put on like almost 25 pounds and
which
it's
sounds
really scary.
Normal to me.
Right. It's not anything crazy, but it's just like, holy cow, like I weigh a lot more and that's kind of like it messes with your mind, even though it's like fluid and the baby and all of this.
Yeah.
But
you're like, I'm growing a human being.
Yeah. So I think that's been the biggest challenge. But other than that, like the changes I've made have actually felt really healthy coming out of a more competitive season of life.
Yeah. I was going to ask you too with that. Sorry, it's becoming more interviewee, but have you missed the competitive side of your training, or are you kind of like, no, I actually kind of like this rest from it? Because I'm assuming you'll probably get back into competition maybe later on. Yeah. After, you have your baby. And so I was just curious, like, what's that thought process there?
Yeah. I definitely do miss it. On the days when I have really high energy, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to take class and I want to like push the pace really hard and I want to do handstand push-ups and wall walks and things like that. And I miss being able to push at that pace. But as soon as I start doing it, I'm like, this does not feel good. Let's stop. Like,
no,
that's too aggressive. So I do miss it, and I do plan to get back into it in like some capacity afterwards if I'm able to, which I should be able to. I don't know why I wouldn't.
I see all these CrossFit moms getting right back in.
Yeah. So the goal is to be able to get back into it and then be able to start pushing myself again, because I love living that competitive lifestyle. It's fun.
Yeah, it was cool. I was just thinking about that. I was working out next to Priscilla, who had her son about a year ago now, almost like in a month. And I was like, Priscilla, could you imagine yourself being back here like this a year later after, the birth of your son? She's like, no, because, there was a lot of different things she had to like go through of, gaining her strength back. But it happened so much faster than she thought. Yeah. From a year ago. She's like, I wouldn't have imagined I would be back here like doing classes like this. And so it's like for every mom out there, I'm like, you'll get there. It'll happen,
100%. And I think they call it like the newborn trenches for a reason. Like you literally feel like you're in a hole and it feels never ending.
Never ending.
And then all of a sudden a year goes by and you're for most people, you're back in your normal routine.
Yes.
You just have obviously a baby now that has their own
Things
routine.
change.
But you're able to get back into the things that you used to love before. And I think when you're in the trenches, you're just like, this is never going to end.
Yeah.
So it's like the mindset I'm trying to have. Like, this is going to end at some point, but I want to cherish every moment.
You're like, this might be hard, but it'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my situation right now.
Yes, totally.
Let's hear about yours, going from your 20s to 30s.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think in my 20s, I mean, I was never like, I was not mostly teens, 20s on anything competitive. Like I wasn't on any teams. I didn't do high school sports hardly or college sports. I just liked working out and going to the gym. So 24-hour fitness, whatever. I remember when I moved here 10 years ago, I just got like a fitness gym and would go to some classes. And I had done CrossFit a little bit previously, tried out some CrossFit gyms in the area that I was living at the time in Southern California. And I just didn't like the CrossFit gyms I was going to. Like I didn't like the culture. I think culture's huge.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I don't feel welcomed. And that's sad to say, but I just didn't feel welcomed by the gyms around me. And my schedule really didn't allow me, because I had a crazy schedule. Sometimes I was working nights and I was working early mornings. So because of that, I just kind of had to figure out like, okay, I'm going to do running. I'm going to do some races. And so during my 20s, I did several marathons and trail marathons. But I really didn't like have a plan. I just was like, oh, I love running, so I'll just go run. Like I didn't have strategy. I didn't have a nutrition plan.
Walk out the door and go for a run, like no pace, no time frame,
no,
nothing.
Sometimes I didn't have watches. Like I just was kind of like, oh, I love to work out.
Yeah.
And so it's just like funny to look back. I'm like, how did I do all this? Like I'd be like, oh yeah, I have a marathon in a month. I just need to like run a little bit. Like I didn't have schedules. And then hardly any weight training. I did do some for like on and off, but never consistently like I am now. So I do remember though, even in my teens, 20s, I saw people start to let themselves go after they had kids, or just kind of like let themselves go after college, or if they weren't in like a team sport, they just like, oh, well, no one's holding me accountable to my health. So I just let life happen. And I got so scared about that because I just was like, oh, I want to be like super healthy the rest of my life. So what do I need to do? And I didn't feel like I had information. So I kind of like would find different things online or through different people, but it was all just like to myself, never in like community, really learning from people, but I cared about health. So I'd have like these different, like these little diet things I would do, like a Whole30 or whatever, but nothing was like consistent or community or honestly maybe science-based.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until the pandemic where I was like, I have so much time on my hands. What do I want to do? And then that's when I was like, okay, I want to I was doing like this fitness app that I loved, and I was like working out 3 hours a day by myself. And
yeah,
I was like, I think I love this. Like, I want to do something about it. So that's
how old were you in 2020?
2020, that would have been like 30, 31.
Okay.
Yeah, 30, 31. And so that's when I was like, I think I want to become a personal trainer, as look into that, of what would that look like. And so that's when I started to get my NASM certification, and then I started to learn more about nutrition. I got a nutrition certification, and then I was like, oh, I think I want to coach CrossFit, and started interning in CrossFit about 4 years ago. I'm at a gym and consistently getting into CrossFit. And that's when I started to build, strength training, and there's strategy for gaining strength. There's strategy for nutrition. And it's been little by little growing and all that. And I now have the mindset of you can get healthier the older you get. Don't limit yourself. And there might be things literally that happen to your body where maybe you can't go run a marathon because of your knees, unless, there might be things, but I think there's always ways that you can take care of your health nutrition wise. And there's always ways to work out, and in so many different avenues in a sense. So even if you can't do one thing of one area of sport, you can always do another. And so I've been figuring out okay, what feels good for my body, which right now has been a lot of long distance running. Lifting has felt amazing. And honestly, just going to our group classes has felt really life-giving for me. So I'm trying to find things that feel really life-giving when it comes to working out, and life-giving when it comes to nutrition as well. So yeah.
Was it more of you turning 30 that was I need to make a change, or was there something else that
it honestly was just the pandemic? I had time to think through okay, I've been working in higher education, and I was just like, what am I passionate about? I'm like, I'm spending 3 hours a day working out because I want to.
Yeah.
So there's something to this. And I was like, what would feel meaningful for me? I'm like, oh, it would be meaningful to help people like love their bodies and feel good about their fitness and their health. I mean, really, it was kind of like an existential time of like people are dying. I know. It's like weird to kind of.
Okay, I didn't know you were gonna say people were dying. I was not laughing at that.
No, I know that.
You said it was an existential time. It
really
seriously was.
It was kind of like this thing where like, oh my gosh, could I die? Like, could people around me die? What do I need to do? Oh, I need to take care of my health at least to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I just started to realize of like, oh, I'd love to help people like in their health journeys. And like, I'd love to help people lose weight or help people gain muscle and feel good. And I think I was working on like building confidence in my own body. And so I was like, well, if I could do that simultaneously, why not?
Yeah.
And so then I started to learn all about like, oh, there's so many ways you can gain strength. There's so many ways you can lose body fat and gain strength, or there's ways you can like feel really good in your skin. And so through health and nutrition, all of that. So yeah, I would say that. And so now I'm like, oh, there's so much more to go. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel, just to kind of like round out this conversation, not to scare you, but like looking at your 40s coming up,
yeah.
Like how do you feel going into that in terms of your health and fitness?
Well, I've gotten really excited, like, because I still want to have kids and I hope to. And so I'm like, I'm right now actually trying to take care of my health to the best of my ability. So hopefully I can have kids in the next couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, God willing.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's why I'm actually taking care of my health now, is for the future me, so that I can be able to like bounce back and have kids maybe at an older age and be able to then still do what I love.
Yeah.
But also I'm like, I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts of women in their 40s who are like ultra runners, who are fitness coaches, and they're killing it. They have kids and they're just like loving life and influencing women and taking care of their health. And so it gives me courage of like, okay, I can do that, you know, in my 40s and 50s and 60s, because I think there is this, society makes it like this time cap of like, oh, when you're mid 40s, you're irrelevant now. Or, you know, you're mid 50s. And I'm like, what if we actually get to change that term of events of like, no, you can still be thriving and doing incredible things at any decade.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. That's like, that's a good place to stop, I think.
Yeah,
honestly.
for sure.
Because it really is like, we put this place kind of like, I like how you said time cap. That's a really good way of looking at it. Like we tell women like, okay, well now you're old, so it's time to let yourself go and just live the rest of your life. But it's like, well, you can live a really long, healthy life where even women that have kids in their 40s, if you are physically fit and able to, like, you can still play with your kids as a 21-year-old mom would be able to.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. And I think it's like, we're so lucky to live in a country that like we really do have access to a lot of help and support and like healthy food overall and ways to be able to, you know, get to that health in natural ways. And I just feel like so excited. I'm like, oh, there's so much more to come. Like, it's not just all about, like some people say like 20s and 30s are the best times of my life. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I want my life to keep getting better.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
What does that look like? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Well, maybe we can talk about that more on another podcast too, on just like what it looks like getting older. But we'll stop there for today.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to the Happy Healthy Human podcast. We'll see you next time. Stay happy, stay healthy.
Bye.